Fuck. Yo. What up? How's it going, yo? So, welcome to the final part of this 3-part series. Well, 3-part episode, I guess, or a 3-part story. So, yes. So, just to recap, the last 2 parts, I talked about the days that led up, or the events and occurrences leading up to the robbery that ends up giving us a reason to go to Montreal. And this is detailed. I'm gonna go straight all up the detail that I can do. So that's why it's taken a while. So bear with me. It is a major turning point in this whole saga, or this whole timeline of my life. So bear with me, and just be patient with the amount of content there is in this last 3. But just know, I'll get in the exclusive scoop on this shit. Also, this part, maybe just bear with me. I am in court at the moment, and yeah, I'm in my court, and stupid thing. Okay, so before I get into this, I just gotta say, I'm in court right now, and I got in. My thing was at 10 a.m. I got in mad fucking early. So I got in it was 10:30. I got in at like 10:20, 10:30. I mean 10:15, around 10:10 or 10:15 is what I mean. Sorry. It's been a long fucking morning, day, and whatever. So I'm sitting there in court, and I'm like, yo, okay, I'm gonna get called up. I'm gonna speak to duty counsel first. You know, it's first come, first serve. I'm here first. Doesn't look like there's a lot of people. Thing. Although there was a lot more people in custody getting called up and shit. It's like in this court, it was like there's a lot of indicted people. I usually don't get that much. I was like, okay, whatever, I'm going. I was like, no one's entering. I was like, it's still the same amount of fucking people. To find out later, I'm in the wrong fucking courtroom. I copy and pasted the code and password that was above my courtroom. So I was like, fuck. So for almost half an hour, I was sitting in the wrong fucking courtroom. And then I go to the actual one, and I end up being almost last on the list to get called up by duty counsel. So fuck. So I would have been out of there by now, but due to this fumble. And the reason why I'm saying this is because this is another light fumble. This is another fucking stupid error that could have easily been avoided. And it's just, what was I gonna do? You know what I mean? I was like, I didn't do it on purpose, but it's just fuck, man. Stupid shit. So, speaking of errors, fumbles, mistakes, fuck ups, screw ups, it goes along with the theme. So I had to tell y'all that. And the cost for that minor tardiness is the most inconvenient cost. You know what I mean? It's man, 30 minutes, the wrong courtroom cost me an extra 3-4 hours of courtroom time waiting. It's fucking stupid. It's just how fucking yeah. I just had to vent out a little bit of my frustration before I get back to the main canonical story. But yeah, that's it. So I might have to pause recording after a while. But yo, okay, and here's the other stupid thing is they put me in a breakout room in Zoom, right? I talked to duty counsel, whatever. She's like, alright, I'm gonna put you back into court. I'm like, alright, cool. And call you up. And I was like, alright, cool. Put me back in court. I'm sitting there. 2 minutes later, she puts me back into a breakout room. I'm like, alright, maybe she gotta fucking talk to me and shit. Go in. It's only me in that breakout room. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, put me there and just stuff me there just to keep me waiting. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I go back to find out they went to lunch. I mean, this motherfucker fucking put me in a breakout room. And I went to lunch. So, for an hour and 15 minutes. So, fuck. So I got an hour or it's down to 40 minutes now of recording. So I think I could get this episode done before I gotta go back to court. So let's try and do that. It's video court, by the way, so I'm not like going to court and then leaving and then going to record or going home and record. No, I'm in video court. Sorry, I should have said that. But yeah, that's the situation right now. So, fuck. Let's see if I can get it done before I have to go back in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I will if I just shut the fuck up and actually continue with the actual story. Right? Right. Yeah, the producer's looking at me like, alright, fine. He doesn't like me mentioning him. He doesn't want me to mention. That's why you haven't heard that I have a producer up until now. Because he's been editing out all the parts where I interact with him. Yeah, you're gonna edit? No. See? Because now he finally realized that the podcast isn't doing as well and it's not as famous. And he's noticed how little of a following it has. So he's not really worried about being mentioned anymore. Is that correct? Yeah, see, even if what I said was not true, he can't come in. He's not gonna come in here and fucking argue against you, right? I can just say whatever the fuck I want about you now. I'll just probably edit it out anyway after. Or not. Who knows? Anyway, back to the fucking story. Before I keep getting sidetracked, as usual. Okay. So, I left y'all at the part where he got... Yeah. So he's back, and then I found out that he has court in 3 weeks or so. And that would be my perfect time. And yeah, so the plan, to recap, is I build my alibi by... my alibi by... Sorry, sleep. I fucking still haven't slept. So the plan is to go to court so I can have an alibi during the robbery. And I'm supposed to go back with them to the place, to reconvene, to, talk shop and recap on what happened in court. And then, so I'm supposed to go back with them to their place. And then I'm supposed to be just as shocked as them when I find out that the place has been fucking robbed. Okay, that's the plan. Although if you listen to one of my other previous episodes and previous seasons, there's one where that says nothing ever goes according to plan. So you just gotta make sure that it goes as well as it can. That's exactly what happened. Nothing on this day went according to plan. So, man's fucking court date, first appearance was set at 9, right? So, I'm like, man, I ain't waking up early. So plan was just fucking stay up and do all that shit, right? Okay. So, now you're wondering, who did I get to fucking... Well, I did mention who I was gonna get to fucking rob him while I was in court. Yeah, so I hit up my old boy from fucking high school. My fucking partner in crime. My fucking... Like, this guy's just always down for whatever. So, partially because of the fact that he's a people pleaser and he just goes along with whatever he thinks the crowd will impress the crowd or, like, get the crowd to like him. The crowd right at this moment is being me. So, I hit him up. He's more than fucking happy to fucking participate in this fucking plot against this drug dealer friend I had, I guess I could call him. Acquaintance, whatever the fuck. Whatever fuck you want to consider him, whatever the fuck I want to consider him. That was the plan. So, I call him down and he pulls up, and then so he pulls up, I discuss with him the plan and shit like that. He's like, alright, sounds good. So we're all good. So I told him the plan was, just in the morning, I'm gonna let him know when we're at court, and then once we're there, then he's free to fucking just go to town, fucking do whatever the fuck he wants to the place. But make sure that he checks the plastic drawers in between the bed and the desk. Last drawer, there's a FedEx envelope. Just grab it. That's the important part. As long as he does that, and afterwards, fucking go to town. Go nuts on whatever the fuck you want to take. So, boom. That was the agreed upon plan. I was like, okay, cool. So we're all good. So plan was set, put into motion. Now all we do is wait for the next day. Actually, no. I hit him up maybe a week or two before. So yeah, we're just waiting like a week. Actually, yeah, a couple days. It's the beginning of the week, right? Some shit like that. So he's like, alright, cool. So we're just chilling, whatever, waiting it out. And everything's fine. You know what I mean? Like, the plan has been set. Still, nothing's getting in the way. Everything still seems to be green light, green light, green lights all the way to the day. Alright. Right? So, as Matthew McConaughey would say. So yeah, we're just waiting out the day. So the day finally comes. This is the night. Well, days finally come, and it's just the night before, right? So we're prepping and shit. So I tell my guy, I was like, yo, because he lives pretty far out regularly from. Actually, this time he was staying actually closer to me, but where I was living at the time was maybe like about 20 minutes to half an hour drive to the target's place. So, and this my guy, lives like maybe just like 5 minutes away from me. So but at the time he was dating this fucking like a bitch that just had him like wrapped around her fucking dick. And I say wrapped around her dick because she wore the pants in the relationship. So she just, whatever she said goes, you know what I mean? This guy had a fucking curfew. This guy had to be home here. You can't even have to work. This guy's like, it was like he was on house arrest. And don't even get me started on when she got drunk. That's besides the point. So I was like, all right, how about just tell her that you got work or you got something to do, or you know what to do. You know what you could say. And so I told him just crash at my base, so then we're ready to go in the morning. And then when I go head over to boys court, he can he'll know when exactly to just start making his way down to the house. So that's exactly what I fucking did. So he like crashed at my base. I was just chilling. So my plan was always to, when I gotta wake up in the morning, like early in the morning, I just stay up all night, because there's no fucking way I'm gonna like want to wake up that early if I go to sleep. If I go to sleep and like fuck this shit, I'm gonna start getting all fucking I don't want to wake up, whatever. Even though I do hate sleeping, but once I do sleep, it's just like it traps me, right? And that's why I avoid it. So I just stay up. That's usually most of the time it works. Although in this case, well, by the old house I had a garage with it's like an open garage. They called it a carport. I think I explained it. So I like to call it garage because carport sounds weird. But so that's usually where we chill. There's 2 couches there, and there's enough room to park like 2 cars underneath there. That's where I do all my work, all my garage work. That's where we chill, especially during the summer. Go there, and then we have like the backyard behind the carport, and then we do our bonfires and shit. So yeah, great fucking chill spot. So, and that couch there, one of the couches there, actually both couches there were quite comfortable. One of them was like leather, and that's the one I fell asleep at all the time. I will tell you a funny story about my trauma and that couch sometime. I don't know if I already told it, but so we were chilling there the night before, and then that couch just fucking pulls you in, you know. And I fell asleep. I woke up fucking mad late. His court was at 9. Oh, like fucking 10:30 or such. No, I woke up at like 9:30 or like 9:45. And I was like, fuck, man, I don't feel like going all the way to downtown or whatever. And I hit up a boy and his girl, and I was like, yo, you guys in the court? I was like, fuck, yo, I missed it. I was like, my bad, whatever. And then he's like, nah, don't worry about it. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna do their thing here, and then we'll link up with you after. I'm like, all right, cool, sounds good. I'm just gonna be at home. Like, I made sure to insinuate that point. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna be at home this whole time. Just don't worry about it. I'm just like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not, making plan. I'm waiting for y'all. All right. So I made sure that they knew that. I didn't make it sound so obvious. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be at home all day. Then I'm just chilling. Made it sound obviously normal. So I'm like, all right, cool. See you later. I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, oh, let me know when you guys are done, and then yeah, I'll make my way over. I'll meet up with y'all. And like, all right, cool. So then I was like, all right. So I go to my guy. I'm like, yo, you know what? Fuck it. Oh shit. I was like, yo, fuck it. I'm here. You're here. Like, I'm not gonna just sit here like let you do. I was like, yo, I'm gonna rob that place with you. So I was like, I'm just gonna go with you, man. Plus, it'll go faster. I'll go for the fucking envelope, and then you can just fucking go grab whatever the fuck you want. So, twice as fast. He's like, all right, cool, sounds good. So we go, and at the time, he had his car, and I had my car, and so the plan was, since it was like a university campus, but it was summertime, so it wasn't much students around, but there's like off times when there's events and shit, and that neighborhood and that area gets a little busy. and there's a lot of people around, right? So so I decided that I schemed up this plan where it's like, so little minor adjustment to the main plan, but still essentially the same. So we're gonna go both cars, and then there's this there's like a safe house we use. This is actually all in the book too, by the way. But it's like that. It's like a church, right? But no one goes there. It's like old, whatever, big lot. No one's ever there, and there's like a iron gate in the front that people don't go there, even though it's like an abandoned church. But people don't go there because they think the gate's locked. But one time I decided to check it out, and I realized, I was like, it's not locked at all. This is the open. You just have to get out and like fucking swing it open manually. So that's what we've been doing. We've been using that lot in that fucking church for like a couple runs. If we need to stash something, like stash a car, or like stay somewhere overnight, or like just even just chill in the lot or somewhere, you know what I mean? But because on the way the lot is, if you go down the driveway to the entrance, and then like the lot opens up, and there's a turn that goes like the lot goes and stretches behind the church, so you can just park there, and then people that are driving by or walking by, like on the main road, can't see shit. They won't even know you're there. And so the plan was we both drive both our cars, and then we're gonna drop one of the cars in that lot, in our safe house, in our safe lot, and then we're gonna go hop into one whip, and we're gonna take that to the target location and do the thing. And after that, we're gonna hop back into the car, and then drive back to the safe lot, switch whips, and then take the other one, bring it home. And then later that evening, when it was like a little bit more settled down, maybe at night, we're gonna go back for the other car, right? So that was the plan. And so that's what we did. That's what I mean when like things don't go according to plan. You always gotta keep changing, adapting, and all that shit. But this one wasn't too bad. I did miss my chance to have a complete alibi, but I'll let you know how that fucking turned out after. You'll find out. So we're going. We dropped the car off at the safe lot. Now we're going to the house. We're going to the house. When we get there, I just parked down the street behind this row of cars on the side of the road, and then we have to kind of walk. You know those houses with like the separate garage? I forgot what the fuck they call those, but then there's like a little side road behind the houses where it's just like a row of garages there, and then you can enter through the back of the house from there. It's like a separate garage or shit. You guys know what I'm talking about? I forgot what it's called, but that's what we had to walk through. So park on the side of the main road between row of cars, and then we walk down the pathway down the garage, and then I think that's what happened. But yeah, along those lines. Either way, doesn't really matter. We make it to the house. So the plan was usually the windows open, or sometimes the door's unlocked, but a high chance that the door was going to be locked, both the front and his room door. So my plan was to go into the window, because sometimes like there's a lot of times the window is left open, and as I said, the window was a huge one right next to the steps. So yeah, that was supposed to be our ingress point, our infill. So we go, and then the window's there. Fucking window's locked. So I was like, shit. Alright, we gotta go a little bit of the loud route. We're gonna fucking smash that shit and just crawl through the window. You know what I mean? Not crawl through the window, because it was pretty big. You just kind of just have to crouch down through it, and then you'll get through. So good thing we brought the tire iron. We had a tire iron with us. And I was like, alright, fuck. So my boy goes up the steps, stands by like the entrance for like the garage, and then like in the street, just to see if anyone's around. He's like, alright, you're clear, we're good. And I'm like, bah! Smash that window. And yo, that shit was loud. And when you read the book, that's the first thing that's in the first line, is just like a loud fucking crash. A window breaking. And it just echoed. It was so loud we both had to pause and like look at each other, and we're like, yo, fuck. Anyone hear that? We paused for a good like 30 seconds, like half a minute kind of shit. And we're like, nothing? My boy's up top, he's looking back and forth, like right and left, side to side. He's like, nah, we're good. Waited a bit to see if there's any ration, nothing. Alright, cool. So I fucking, boom, clear the glass from the window. And we go right through into the window. I jump down, and fucking he jumps down. I go straight. I beeline for that fucking plastic drawer, which wasn't far because the room's not big. As soon as you come down the window, legit, you're already like a foot away, like you're maybe arm's length away from the foot of the bed. And then to the right of that, facing the bed, to the right is the plastic drawer, the 3-stack one, and then to the right of that is the desk. And then to the other side of the bed, it's like a very small walkway area, and then it's the wall. And then once we got down from the window, directly like right next to us, on my left, was their wardrobe, closet, armoire, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's like legit just about an inch or two away as soon as you come down from the closet. I mean from the window. And then on the other side of that wardrobe was maybe like 3-4 feet wide. And on the other side of that was his media stand with a TV and all this fucking shit on the shelves. Right? So I go down, I beeline for the fucking plastic drawer that was dead ahead of me. Right? And then I look over, my boys go straight to the fucking TV with all the other shit, because that's the only other place where there's stuff. On the other side by the door, it's just like closed and it's empty. So he goes and starts ransacking all that shit. I'm like, okay, cool. He got the message. He understood the assignment. So I'm going straight for the drawers. And then I'm looking at the bottom where I thought they put it. Oh no. Oh yeah, no. In the book, I wrote that I checked the top, the just for dramatic effect, but reality, I knew where the fuck that was. I went straight for the bottom drawer, saw the fucking FedEx. It's stupid. It's just like the only fucking thing in that drawer. Like, got it. And I was like, perfect. Sick. I went to go check the other 2 drawers. Not much to take there. Looked at the desk. Nothing. Just a bunch of bullshit. You know, it's usual mess. Fucking papers. Fucking pencils. Fucking weed accessories. All that shit. Nothing worth really taking. And I didn't really care. Because once I got that fucking thing, it's all good. All right. And also, I forgot to mention that since he was going to be out into court, I was like, this motherfucker, he just re-upped on his weed. So there's like at least he had like 4 strains that he just re-upped on, and he gets like a ½ pound each. So by that time, he still had like a couple ounces of each weed left. So I was like, man, that's our bonus take right there. We're gonna get the money, and we're gonna get his weed, and we're gonna clear this motherfucker out. So I told my guy, I'm like, yo, check for that kush. It's in the fucking wardrobe, or that armoire thing that I was telling you about that was right next to us after we came down from the window. So yeah, that's his direction. I think he went straight for the TV just to see what's on there, and then he moved to the closet after. Not sure, because I went straight for the fucking plastic drawers. So as soon as I got that fucking envelope, threw it in my duffel bag, and then I look over, and then I think my guy's just finishing up with the TV and shit. And then I look at him, I was like, yo. I was like, gave him a thumbs up. And I was like, a fucking motion to the window. I was like, you good? And he's like, yeah, hold up. So he goes to the fucking the closet and shit. And he starts like ransacking the shit out of it. I'm looking around the desk trying to find something else to take. And then I look back after, and he's like, yo, it's not here. I was like, what the fuck you mean it's not there? I was like, what the fuck? This guy took all this fucking weed to court? What the fuck? Who the fuck does that shit? Why do you bring all that weed to fucking court? So I'm like, I go into the closet. I'm like, really fucking trashing that fucking closet at this point, pulling shit out, checking all the pockets in his jackets, all the bags and shit, everything. Nothing. I was like, how the fuck? I was like, no way he took that shit to court. Because who's gonna go there with like fucking like 4 or 5 ounces of like weed all the way in fucking court and shit? So the fuck? Okay, whatever. I was like, fuck it, whatever. We got the envelope. Let's get the fuck out of here. So he's like, okay, fine, yeah. So we hop back up out the window, and then we're going. Look around, side to side on the side street, nothing, clear, boom. We head back to the whip, get the whip, go back to the safe lot. But this time, there wasn't really much people around. So we didn't really need to do the whole car switch, but it wasn't really necessary, but we did it anyway. So we went back to the lot, and then that's when we kind of took a we took a look at the haul. We checked out our spoils of war. That's where we kind of took it out and just kind of checked it out. And around this time, it was like maybe 10:30, close to 11, I believe, from what I remember. So right there, he shows me whatever he got. It's like little bullshit shit. He didn't really get much, but then he got this little case thing he had with a bunch of pills and shit in it. He got a bunch of the girls. I recognize the fucking pills too, and like he's like, "Oh, I got some of these pills, whatever." I was like, "Yo, dog, those are antidepressants. I know what those are. They were prescribed to her. She had BPD, so yeah, those were her pills. They were trying to sell it off. I was like, no one's buying that shit." Then he got this little case with a bunch of other fucking drugs that were in there. There was like a powder. There was like another more different kind of powder. It was like a couple pills, and then it's like they're all in little baggies in this little cigarette case that he got. So I was like, what the fuck is that? I didn't even see those. I've seen maybe one or two of those that he showed me before, but I didn't know what the fuck the rest of that shit was. I didn't see that. I think one time he was showing me, but then I just didn't fucking pay attention to it. Like, I didn't really care much for it because they weren't the drugs that I wanted. So I was like, fuck it, whatever. So got that, and I was like, all right, cool. Now for the main event. And I took out the fucking envelope, opened it, and I was like, holy fuck. And that envelope was like the fucking just hundreds, like $100 bills, $50 bills, $20 bills, all neatly stacked and organized the way your girl did, right? And I was like, oh, you did a nice job organizing these for me, thank you. They were all well organized, and like, so I gave Matt like half of it. I think he took maybe like he took the hundreds, and I think there was a couple stacks of the 50s, and so I gave him like maybe a stack or two of the 50s, like I just half the whole stack, right? I took the 50s and 20s, he took the other half of the 50s and the hundreds. I was just sitting there counting cash, just counting cash. And then after fucking, oh yeah, no, so I started counting it from the hundreds, and when I finished counting the hundreds, I passed it to him, and then after he would double count. So it's kind of like, yeah, just to be sure. He counted that, and then he would make sure, and then, you know, pass on the rest of the stack. I'm going. He's watching me counting, and his eyes are like fucking widening every fucking thousand that I put down. So, oh, by the way, I made a mistake. So what I was told, actually, it wasn't 11 grand that she told me. She actually said it was like, fucking like 9 to 10 grand, right? Which is not much of a big difference, right? If you look at it, but that's what it was. So I'm counting. I'm like, oh shit. And then finally there's like 8,000, and then 7,000, 8,000, and I'm like, yo. And like when I got to like 9,000, I stopped a bit and waited till my boy was done counting that thing, like that stack, and I was like, just to make sure, I was like, am I counting this right? Just, you know, it's a little bit unbelievable, right? It's hard for me to take in. It's like, holy shit, maybe this really is gonna be the amount that she said it was. I thought she was exaggerating at first. Nah, man, she was real. She never lied to me like that. It wasn't like that. I should have known. So he counts to 9,000. I was like, fuck, dog, where are you at? He's like, it's 9,000. I was like, fuck. I was like, all right. So I continued counting. And once we got to the end, the whole total exactly was $11,750 or $25 or $50, right? So 11.7 grand. So the part in the book, this part was true though, where I was trying to divvy up. So I gave him half. I was like, yo, okay, so 11,700, right? So I was like, 11, that's like 6 point, no, wait, hold on, what was I saying? Five and a half thousand, right? And then, so I was like, here, you get like 550 plus splitting the 700. That was like, fuck, sorry, my math is just fucking off right now, man. That's it, so 3.5, right? So like, you get 5,800 or so in change or whatever, 5,850 some shit or 20, whatever. I have to. And then I was handing it to me. He's like, nah. He's like, no, I'm not taking all that. I was like, what the fuck you mean? I was like, bro, we were in this shit together. We went through that fucking window together. We went down there. You equal. Everything was 50-50, bro. This was a 50-50 job. He goes, nah. I was like, why? He's like, I don't need that much. Like, what the fuck are you playing at? Who the fuck does that shit? He's like, I just need to take what I need, and I'll be okay. I was like, how much do you need? He's like, I just need enough for rent and to buy groceries or whatever. Mind you, at this time, he was already starting to kind of be iffy with his girl, and then he was like he was over at my place a lot. So that was the thing. So like he said he would pay me rent, but I charged him like really low. I charged him like maybe like fucking $500, maybe $400 a month. He's like, all right, cool. And I was like, yo, so he's like, I just need enough for rent and like groceries and like food and like gas and shit. And I was like, all right, cool. So then how much is it? He's like, just give me like he said, just give me $3,500. I was like, $3,500? Really? He's like, yeah, just give me that much. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not gonna like fucking force him to take more money if he wants to take less. I was already like kind of insisting, but he insisted even more. So I was like, all right, fine. Here, $3,500. I was like, don't even worry about rent for the next like month or two. I was like, we'll be good. So I was like, you take that, you use it for whatever you want first. That's cool. So the other half that he didn't take, I threw it into the crew fund. You know what I mean? Just to like for shit that the crew needs, you know? Because at that time, at the house, there was 3 of us. There was him, there was me, him, and then our other boy. He wasn't too involved. He was kind of more into the straight shooting kind of shit, but he was like a consultant of sorts. It was like a consigliere, if this was a mob kind of thing of 3 people. But we were the kind of crew. We were a crew. It was just us 3. And so he didn't join this morning because he didn't really fucking... He didn't think we were actually going to do it. And I didn't include him in the plan because we didn't really need him. And I tried to not to involve him as much as possible because in that sense, he's kind of a pussy. But, you know. But he's competent as fuck. So that's why I kind of keep him around. He just kind of advises me, consults me, and just kind of like, yo. And he gives me a lot of the contingencies that sometimes I don't think about. And then I'd be like, okay, shit, yeah, I gotta think about that. And then, yeah. So he fills in those gaps in a way. So, whatever. Yeah, those 3 of us. So I just threw the rest of that money into the crew fund. So now I got my fucking D800. Boys got his fucking 35. And then the crew's got an extra like $3,000 to fuck around with, right? $2.5 to $3,000 to fuck around with, and you know, whatever we need, supplies or whatever, that's the budget. So yeah, kept that. So we stashed that in this fucking old Honda Accord that I had parked in the carport, just in the trunk. That was our stash spot right there. And so now we got all this money, and man, before the money, you're like, oh man, yo, I have so much plans. Like, man, once we get this money, I'm gonna go get this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Once we got all that money, we're like, the fuck did we do? We're like, I don't know, man. Just cool. We just ended up sitting in the garage and chilling for the rest of the fucking day because we couldn't decide what the fuck to do with the money. And it's like, you know, like a dog that chases a car and then doesn't know what the fuck to do once he gets it. Yeah, that was me for a second. Also because I was just in fucking awe that we still pulled it off quite well, actually. Then, okay, so the whole first part about the people who fucking own the place, like the guy and the girl, whatever, that was kind of like the end of it. You know what I mean? Like, they're not really part of the rest of the story, but yeah, they're part of the story because they were the reason why they were the reason why we had that opportunity to get that money. And I did that because of all the shit that was happening. I was like, fuck this guy. That was his money. It wasn't the girl's money. If it was, I would have kind of thought more about it. Still probably would have taken it, but I would have thought a little bit harder on it. I didn't feel anyways about it, to be honest. Even until now, I don't feel guilty about it. I don't give a fuck. I'll do it again. And to be honest, and look, I fucking robbed this guy's ass. And what did he do? Nothing. I got away with it. I talked to somebody mutual that knew him as well and still chilled with him afterwards. And I didn't talk to him for a while. I didn't talk to both of them for a while. But then once I talked to that mutual connection again, he assured me, he was like, yo, did you rob thing? I was like, fuck yeah, I did. I wasn't even trying to hide. He's like, oh shit. He's like, I wasn't expecting you to just admit it. I was like, yeah, I'm not hiding nothing. I was like, I'm not even like scared or nervous or anything. I was like, if anything, I kind of want him to know. I just want to see what he would do. And like, you know, I was like, why? Does he think he did? He's like, yo, he has a strong feeling you did because who else would know? And then, but he's not sure. He said he was like 80% sure. If you 80% sure that somebody fucking robbed you, that's almost close to 100. That's pretty much 100 in my books. He still didn't do anything about it. He knew where I lived. He knew my number. He knew where to come find me. I didn't have that at all. I didn't take any extra precautions of security precautions. I didn't guard myself anymore. But he didn't do shit. Up until this day, he didn't do anything. And that was my point. That's exactly why I robbed him. I was like, yo, if I had the opportunity to rob him again, I fucking do it. Just because it's easy money. Fuck. So I told our mutual boy, I was like, yo, if you could find out how much money he's got or where he keeps it and where he lives and shit and like that. He knew where he lived and where he was at. But I was like, yo, find out where his shit's at. I'll fucking rob him again. Up until this day. If I get another opportunity to rob this motherfucker, I'll do it again. That's how fucking... Yo, that's what happens when you fucking show weakness on the streets. They're gonna eat you up. Especially if like fucking divulging really important and highly confidential personal information to like somebody close to you that you don't really know. That you think you know. And also it's like, boy, a huge fuck you because it's like you thought you knew me. You didn't. Anyway, besides the point, yeah. So they called me later on though. Like, just to close out the story. Around 12 or 1 p.m. I got a call from them. They're like, yo. He was like, yo, I got robbed. He's like, they took... I was like, what the fuck? I acted surprised. Obviously, I was like, what the fuck happened? How? I was like, yo, what the fuck? I was like, what happened? When? He's like, yo, while I was in court, whatever, they took everything. They took everything. I was like, yo, fuck. I was like, even the weed? The money? He's like, nah, they took the money. He's like, but I took the weed with me. Thank God I had the weed with me. I was like, so these motherfuckers actually did take the weed with them to court. I was like, you lucky bastards. I would have fucking taken that shit too. He's like, yeah. He's like, yo, thank God I took it. I was like, yeah. Fuck. Thank God you took it with you to court. So, and then he's like, yeah, okay, hold on. Thing's calling me. His girl's calling him, right? Yeah, because I don't know why they split up after. I don't know the story after that. Because I never talked to them again after that. And he's like, okay, hold on. Thing's calling me. He's like, I'm going to call you back after I talk to her or whatever. So he hangs up. And I'm like waiting for him to call back just to see what happened. And I never heard from them again. That was the last time I ever heard from either of them. And I was like, shit. So they probably got a hint that I did it. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, okay. I would have fucking told them that I did it too if he like asked me or whatever. But yeah, nothing. And that was it. Never heard from him again. Now, since that, and now that's all done with. And plus I wanted to cut ties with them. They started to use me and shit like that. I could feel it. But that's another story for another time. Besides the point, I wanted to just cut ties with them anyway. Well, with him. I still kind of wanted to talk to the girl, but I couldn't cut one, not like the other, right? So, that was a sacrifice I had to make. And that was the end. So, now, with that all done, I severed ties, and that's one less thing I gotta fucking deal with. And so now, that kind of marked a new beginning and a new chapter into this whole thing, because then they were part of like they were like kind of a big part of like my life at that time, because I was always with them and shit like that. But enjoying their company was on and off. But transitioning now, because once me and my two other mans, we started like fucking, because we started building this thing, like me and my boy who just robbed them, like we started building this kind of crew. We started kind of like developing. I was like, yo man, I'm enjoying a lot more, like I'm enjoying their company a lot more than these guys. So it's like, fuck. And these guys weren't benefiting, like I was losing fucking shit. They were benefiting from hanging out with me more than I wasn't benefiting from them at all. And to the point where it's just like, man, it's not even worth it anymore. So to transition in that, I had to cut ties for that to completely move on. So that was kind of the symbol for that. That was symbolic of that. And I kind of cut that off. Now moving to newer and better things, right? Because we had big plans, big business plans. And I kept trying to fucking make some business plans with the other guy. But the way he moved, I kind of didn't want to work with him. And at the same time, he was giving me some bullshit run around. He was like, I felt like he wasn't really into it. So I was like, all right, cool. You don't want to make money with me? Then I'll make money from you. And I'll use that money to fund my next fucking project, which was the new crew. That was it. And so that was the new beginning. And now I've got a new crew, got a new beginning, and kind of got like a whole new direction in life and in the business, in the lifestyle, with a fucking more cash than I've ever seen up until that point. You know what I mean? So that was like, oh, it was nowhere to go but up from there. You know what I mean? It's like fucking shit. So many fucking things we could do that we didn't even know where to start. And I gotta go back to court. It's like a minute left till this lunch break is done. So I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna end this here. This might be another 2-parter too, but because yeah, I feel like the next part, like leading into the Montreal trip, that's gonna take another long block. So this is some major shit we talking about though. Y'all getting like the full scoop. So anyway, before I go back to court and end it off here, thank you again for sitting with me and being patient. If you're liking the story, then that's cool. That's fine. So that being said, I'll see y'all in a bit. And until then, keep grinding, hustling, living, laughing, learning, loving, living, leveling, all that good shit. Anyway, I'll see y'all in a bit, eh? Peace.
Madness. This is criminal!